30. So I'd like to call our meeting. Thank you, everyone who has shown up today. And I'd like to call our meeting to order for our regular Board of Trustees meeting for this wonderful post-election day of August 19th. So Ellie, will you, where did I miss it? I can't see Ellie. Ellie, will you please do the roll?
Wow. Trustee McGrath.
Oh,
Present.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Trustee Anderson.
present.
Trustee Wasberger.
Present.
Trustee Day.
Here.
Trustee Palmer.
In attendance.
Trustee Williams. We do have a quorum.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, Trustee Williams is absent with notice. He did give notice.
Yes, he did. Yeah. And I apologize. I accidentally skipped over a very important point, which is the Pledge of Allegiance. So if everyone would please rise, and if Trustee Anderson would please lead us in the pledge.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. I don't know, that pledge day felt a little bit differently today, I have to say, after yesterday. So I'm pretty blessed to live in America. Thank you, Trustee Anderson. I'd like to request a motion to approve the agenda for the regular GCCD board meeting for today.
So second.
Been moved by Trustee McGrath and seconded by Trustee Palmer.
Madam Chair, may I offer an amendment to the agenda? Under new business, item A. Rather than approving the Aleutian contract, you all have done that already. That was my error. It should be Aleutian annual subscription payment approval.
Oh, okay. Correct.
I would move to amend my motion to as presented by Dr. Oglander.
Okay. Any discussion? Discussion. All those in favor then indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Thank you. We will make that change in our agenda. All right, approval for consent agenda, which will include the minutes of our last meeting, which everyone had the opportunity to review. The executive session, which was held in June, and that did, all trustees should receive that from Trustee Day. The staffing report update. Glad to see the new hires that we've made. And July 26 financials. I would like to request a motion to then to approve the consent agenda. Approve the consent agenda.
Seconded.
Okay. Approved by Trustee Anderson and second by Trustee Day. Any discussion? Discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. All right, for the good of the district, start off with good news from the trustees.
I have a few. It's been a busy month for the McGrath family. My daughter got married to a gentleman, Dave Porter, and everything went swimmingly well. So excited for her. We take my daughter Reese to the University of Wyoming tomorrow to get her into the dorms. And then I turned 50 last year.
Happy belated birthday.
Glad you beat me there.
It's always good to have another. I think we ought to just sing happy birthday to
Uh,
because that's a golden birthday.
Golden birthday. I think you're right.
I do, but no one would want me to lead it, so perhaps somebody who has.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear
Trustee McGrath.
Josh. Happy birthday to you.
Very much appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, no, very happy birthday. Other good news from the trustees.
Can't beat that. I pass.
But my granddaughter started kindergarten today, my youngest.
Oh,
Nice. Let's go.
Big news.
that is big news. Congratulations, trustee Smith. Would that be Sutton?
No, Towns.
Oh, Towns. Yeah, that's right. She is the youngest. Cool. Excellent.
My son started his senior year at Thunder Basin today and made it to the Bomber for the third time 2 weeks ago and up on Bomber Mountain. Had a great trip. It was a lot of fun.
That's
I didn't
awesome.
die.
You're so fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. I liked your pictures that you posted, so thanks.
It was fun.
Any other good news from the trustees? All right.
This is actually good news, but my brother-in-law finally got his car work done and fixed. And so after 7 weeks, he is no longer living in my house. And he's back.
Here, that probably is good news. That was an uncanny experience that I got to hear about on our way down to Wright. Wow, so good. I'm glad he got his car fixed. All right, moving on to good news from the college.
Madam Chair, trustees, this is the time of year where it is so much fun to be on campus, although all the time is fun to be on campus, but our faculty have returned. Our students are returning this week. Several years ago, we had 9 pronghorn babies be born just back to back to back to back. Those babies are now all headed off to kindergarten today. And so we have some mamas in the room, some mamas whose babies have gone off to kindergarten, mamas whose babies are going off to their senior year, but we always like to celebrate with our parents as well, because we know those pronghorn babies are going to be future students here. So we have no doubt about that. But today, our new student senate is here to introduce themselves and familiarize you with their leadership. And so we invite them to come forward and introduce. And Josh, as student senate president, you take the lead from here, sir. Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. I'm Josh Rogers. I will
Okay.
be serving as our students.
You have to use the microphone.
It was good and loud though.
You're doing it.
Sorry about that. Hello, everybody. I'm Josh Rogers. I will be serving as our student president. I am in the machine tool program here at Gillette College, and afterwards I'll be moving to career and technical education at the University of Wyoming. I think that's all I have.
Josh. Next, so we want to meet you all.
Hi, my name is Carissa Loudermilk and I'm from Farmington, New Mexico. I am here studying engineering and I'm going to move on to petroleum engineering. I am on the volleyball team and I am here for the Senate as the secretary.
Welcome.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kaylee Phillips. I am studying for elementary education. I am also on the volleyball team, which is really exciting. I am going to be serving as the treasurer on Senate, and I'm from Sheridan, Wyoming.
Can you just tell me what year you all are when you go through?
Josh, I'm a second year.
Carissa, I'm a second year as well.
I am also a second year.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to meet you guys. My name's Zuri Moore, and this is my second year. I'm currently studying education, and I plan on transferring to Montana State University of Billings to finish my degree as an art teacher. And this year I'll be representing Student Senate as the vice president. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kevin Amiji. I'm from West Africa, Togo, and I'm a student in Gillette studying business and administration. I'm also on the men's soccer team. I've been serving the Student Senate as a liaison.
And what year are you? Is this your first or second?
Second years.
Second year, okay.
I'm Tercy. I'm their advisor. I'm the activities coordinator. This is their second day of training, and they already introduced themselves to the rest of the faculty and staff yesterday. So if you guys have more questions for them, feel free. So.
Trustees.
Do you have big ideas for what you want to accomplish this year, or have you gotten that far yet?
So our biggest goal this year is really just to make Student Senate known to the whole campus. And we really want to just bring a lot of activities for people to do and make sure that people understand like they can come to us whenever they need to. And if they have any issues or good things about campus they'd like to bring that's known to us, we're just really open to it. And we'd like them to be able to talk to us whenever and just feel like they can come to us with any other ideas.
Thank you. As a Gillette College student, how do you feel about the community as a whole? Do you feel part of the community, or do you feel kind of just isolated with the college life?
Being from Gillette, I feel like Gillette College does a very good job of being part of the community, especially with the Board of Trustees. A lot of you guys, we know you, you're out in the community a lot. And what Gillette College does is directly, a lot of our student population is from Gillette, and they recognize that. But as well as like the people who visit Gillette, we had this conversation this morning, like we have a community that is industry backed like no other. So I think we do a very good job connecting with the community and the events we do. So thank you.
Just to add to that, being like, oh, not from Gillette and I live 12 hours from here, like coming into this community is very welcoming, and this school is, I really enjoy it, and the teachers and the staff and all the trustees and everybody on the campus does a really good job at making everybody feel welcome. So, thank you.
Good, excellent. Yeah, Trustee McGrath.
Just on behalf of myself, thank you for doing this. It's not easy and it takes extra time, especially when you're involved in other things, whether it's machining or athletics so thank you for doing this, and know that we're here for you. And part of the reason we're here is really the reason we're here is because of you guys and for you guys. So thank you for throwing your hat in that ring and being a part of it.
Well said.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, as you know, annually, we like to have dinner with the trustees and student senate. So we'll begin working on those dates. So you can share your expertise as these leaders come into their next level of leadership at Gillette College. And it's always a fun evening for us to interact with these fabulous students.
We need to have fufu for our West African. Fufu makes you big, fufu makes you strong.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, welcome to stay or not. You probably have.
Taking them to lunch, so they're.
Thank you guys so
Oh,
much.
yeah. Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Enjoy
Thank
your
you.
lunch.
Nice to meet you guys.
Well done.
Nice to meet you guys. Thank you.
Chair Wasberger, trustees, I have one more good news to share. And I don't know if Dr. Spriggs is still with us online, but Dr. Spriggs, turn your camera on, please.
There
Thank
he
you,
is.
sir. Dr. Spriggs is hopefully returning to campus soon after a hip replacement. We're so pleased to see him joining us today, but before he went out for his replacement, he was inducted into the Fulton County All Sports Hall of Fame.
Wow.
And so you can see some of his photos up here, but this document starts out with Barry Spriggs, a 1983 graduate, stands out as one of the most accomplished and respected student athletes in the history of McConnellsburg High School. And so he was inducted earlier this summer. There was one part in here that I wanted to share with you because it was so profound. So profound, I started and now can't find it.
Yeah, 3-sport guy.
Yeah, 3 sports. Oh, here it is. In the early 1980s, Barry Spriggs played a pivotal role in putting McConnellsburg boys track on the map, not only in District 5, but across the state of Pennsylvania. His legacy is one of excellence, humility, and perseverance. We congratulate Barry on his outstanding athletic career and proudly honor his lasting impact with his induction into the Fulton County All Sports Hall of Fame. 3-sport athlete, went on to college to run track, but has had a pretty phenomenal, not only track career, but we are pleased that he joins us here at Gillette College as we navigate this really exciting era. So Dr. Spriggs, congratulations. Is there anything you would like to add or say?
No, well, thank you for bringing that. It definitely taught me lessons that I keep today. So it's one of those things where things that I learned, of course, through sports, as I noted during my speech, they stay with me. You know, you run until you actually fall over the finish line. And if you don't, you still have more left. So I kind of took that with me, and I kind of applied it throughout my whole life, as well as as we are at the College of Gillette. In the role that I play, I continue to apply that.
Wow, well, I think we should give him a standing ovation. I think that's.
Thank you all.
Well, congratulations, Dr. Spriggs, and I'm really happy. How's your recovery been from your hip replacement?
It's getting much better. It's a process, of course. I think I'm in week 6, maybe. Yeah, because I go back tomorrow for the second post-op. So hopefully they'll release me a little further, and I'll be back on campus soon.
Hey, well, of course, you know, the medical person in me wants to ask you, but you have to answer this. Is anterior approach, or did you go with the posterior?
It was post.
Okay. Thanks.
I see Fulton. Is that like Fulton County? Is that in Georgia, or where is McConnellsburg?
Pennsylvania. It's right along the Mason-Dixon line in Pennsylvania, like 10 minutes in the central part of the state from the Mason-Dixon.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's
Thank you.
very cool. Little did I know. So, wow.
And he doesn't brag about it. If you read that, it's incredible.
Yeah. I'm happy to pass this around.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you, Dean
Good stuff.
Wakefield, for that.
Madam Chair, that is all.
Gosh,
Not for good news, although my report will have more.
great. It'd almost be kind of nice to stop at that point, but we can't. We must move forward. But it's been a feel good so far. So organizational report. All right. President Overland, you're up again for your report.
Madam Chair, trustees, there's a lot happening at Gillette College right now. So to begin with, I mentioned earlier, our faculty have returned. We take this week for faculty to prepare for the academic year, but we also take time to do professional development across the college. And so yesterday, the campus gathered at noon for welcome back remarks. We did some training, then some federal compliance training that has to happen on a yearly basis. Talked about our vision, talked about accreditation, which I'll visit about later in my report. But most importantly, we came together to celebrate because we have accomplished a lot. Last year, a lot was accomplished, of course, reaching candidacy, and we needed to take some time to celebrate. Today, what's happening today and tomorrow across the campus, 25 professional development sessions are being offered to the faculty and staff. Those are, for the most part, all done by internal faculty and staff. And so we had this year more sessions turned in for consideration than we have room for, which is a pretty big milestone for us. So we're very proud of that. We thank all of our faculty and staff who have absolutely stepped in to present and train the trainers and train our faculty in a whole lot of different topics. Thursday, tomorrow, the residence hall's open. The rest of the students start move-in. It's always an exciting time. Feel free to stop in and help move students in if you want to. You're more than welcome. Our Dean of Students, Diana Newman, would love for you to be there. I will be in Riverton, so I unfortunately will miss move-in, but faculty and staff go up and help. The RAs will be there. Other students will be helping move in. It's just a really fun time. And sometimes you just need to give moms who are dropping their babies off hugs of encouragement that will take really good care of them.
Dads too.
Dads too. And then Friday, we gather for convocation, and it's where all the new students come together. We provide speeches, we provide opportunities for encouragement, and then the students go with their advisors, and then a lot of fun activities happen across the day. One of the exciting things that's going to happen at convocation, you'll all be so excited, the fight song for the pronghorns will officially be released tomorrow, Friday during convocation. So we're excited about that. What's gonna happen?
Trustee Williams not here.
Yeah, trustee.
The other, I know, it's a win though. So we're excited about that. Energy City Voices is rehearsing the fight song right now. So they will have it. The words will be printed on the programs. They'll be up on the big digital screen. So it will be officially released at convocation on Friday. The full welcome week packet you have here in front of you, student affairs, LE marketing, everybody has worked hard to bring this together under one document. So you can see what's happening across the week. And then literally when Kirsty handed me the calendar of events, it was still warm. So this really is hot off the press. But this is all the student life. It is the calendar of events. And again, as you can see, it is rare that there is not something happening on campus for student activities and student events. which of course are always open to our faculty and staff to join and participate in as well. So again, it's going to be a really fun semester for our students with a lot of work and a lot of accomplishment, but a lot of opportunity to create belongingness across the campus. So that's convocation. We always love when our students come back. Let me give you a quick update on the Department of Education. As you know, we submitted our pre-application shortly after we entered candidacy. And as you know, being the patient person that I am, I was willing to wait 3 to 6 months for that to be processed. Just kidding. As you know, we sent a pretty intense letter to our federal delegation asking them for their advocacy and their assistance. We then approximately a week later got an email from the Department of Education requesting some additional information. Rachel submitted, Rachel Lane is in the house, is doing this work on this application. She submitted, we received that on a Friday. The additional information was submitted Monday. Late yesterday afternoon, we got a response from the department that they now are processing that new information. So some movement happening. The federal delegation has been thanked for their advocacy and we'll continue to keep them updated and posted. So just giving you an update on that. In the lines of accreditation, of course, you know, we're in candidacy. Our next piece that's due is our provisional plan. And that plan just really is outlining what our next steps are going to be, how we're going to handle student registration, how we're going to handle our records, how we're going to handle, are we going to transfer students in? Are we going to be a transfer college out? There's a lot of pieces that don't apply that are in the HLC policies because we're not merging together. We're not, I mean, there are some things in there that don't apply. So Dr. Spriggs is drafting that. He'll have that draft ready likely by the end of next week. We'll start reviewing that. And then our plan is to have it done by September 1st and submitted. In the meantime, next week I have a meeting with Dr. Spriggs and the deans to discuss early initial accreditation versus staying in candidacy. Because we really have to have a clear picture and understanding if they believe that we have enough information and evidence to satisfy 3E, which is the assessment. That doesn't mean the other criterion and the other subcomponents don't need attention. We have to update those assurance arguments and provide additional evidence. But that assessment piece really is about faculty assessing their programs and assessing their courses. So we're going to take some significant input from the deans, and then we will make a decision by the end of next week, whether we're going to stay in candidacy, do the biennial, or turn that biennial into early initial accreditation. So big decision coming next week, but I will certainly let you know. Once that decision is made, if we decide to pursue early initial, we have to notify the Higher Learning Commission. But regardless, we do have our next visit scheduled for September 13th and 14th of 2027. That date's locked in. There's a lot of work to be done regardless of what direction we go, but the data and the assurance arguments have to be locked down by August 15th. So that's the most recent news on accreditation.
August 15th, 27.
So basically 8 months from now, the assurance arguments need to be near completion because we'll have to take the summer to edit and tie up any loose ends and have those ready to lock down. So, yes.
If we do not go for the early decision, what's the timeline?
So an institution may sit in candidacy for up to 4 years with an option of a 5th year. So it's a much longer time period.
And during that time, are you expected to be continuing to providing data?
Yes.
And
yes, there would be this biennial and then there would be another visit, probably about 2 years later. So.
Sure. So President Omelander, so you said up to 4 years. Is it a possibility after the visit next September 2027 that if the HLC group came away with very positive feedback and very positive feeling about where we're at, could they then expedite that?
Madam Chair, Trustee Palmer, we would be having a biennial review. We would then, if everything came back clean, if we did a candidacy biennial visit, we would then have to request to move into early initial accreditation, which would bring another visit.
So we still have to initiate that. Okay, thank you.
You can initiate it one time. One time.
Any other questions for Dr. Oberlander regarding accreditation?
The .edu application was submitted. Renee, do you want to share the news or shall I? I'll do that. So the .edu application was submitted, and it was denied because you have to be accredited before you can have the .edu. Serendipitously, Renee Collins walked into my office and said, "Did you hear the news?" I said, "I can get through the .edu, but I cannot get through you. I thought you were going to resign on me." And then 2 weeks later, she announced her resignation, which she'll talk about here a little bit. But anyway, it was submitted. They did provide feedback. Renee did get to see clarification, and it's just information that you hear. And so anyway, EDUCAUSE denied that .edu. So we'll continue forward with our .org, and we'll continue doing work, and it'll be fine. We'll get there. We'll get there. On July 27th, as you know, the State Building Commission met. We had taken our NZ cost escalation to the Wyoming Community College Commission, who approved it, and then the State Building Commission also approved it. So just know that we continue to follow state guidelines on that, and that was approved. And we continue to maintain close contact with State Building Commission as this project advances. Earlier in July, the cabinet did their annual retreat, reviewed and did some work on our focus areas. Focus areas from last year we assessed. We're not quite where we want to be with those. So we're looking at where and how we're going to bring some of those back to continue to work on those. But we're also working with a group called Talent Elevated, because we know as a cabinet that the work we have done today to get us to candidacy is not going to be the work the cabinet needs to focus on to get us to the next level. We really need to move into the visioning of the institution along with the trustees. And so as part of that, we've created a group called the Council for Leadership and Innovation. 7 people were invited to that council, and they include Dean Travis Grubb, Dean Lindsay Wakefield, Dean Ron Carter, Dean Diana Newman, Dean Porter, Janie Rayback, Athletic Director, and Chantel Moore, Director of Human Resources. And we really believe that this mid-level managers, or not managers, leaders, they're the mid-level leaders on campus, really are the how, right? Just like you set policy and you delegate authority to me to carry that out. So that college executive cabinet really should be setting the vision alongside of you, but it is the mid-level leaders who really should be doing the how of how that gets carried out with guidance and participation from the cabinet. So that's what we're working towards this year. We're going to work with Talent Elevated through December. We could extend that contract and then begin to bring the mid-level managers into that work. So we're really excited about that. We're excited to have our first meeting late next week and begin to go through the process of forming that council, who I believe are going to be outstanding. They already are outstanding leaders on campus, but they're ready for this next step. We're looking forward to that. Let's talk about, do you have any questions so far on any of that? I do not. Let's talk about stadium lights. Vice President Larson, is Marty here?
Can't be.
He needs to be here to address this. You could.
know this to be addressed.
Yeah,
I'll text him.
so if you can get him here.
Okay.
Because the trustees may have questions on this. So Campbell County High School, as you know, is building a new high school, and they're building a new stadium. And so they're going to play fall sports on the current stadium field this year. As soon as fall football season is over, they're going to begin the demolition of the Campbell County High School stadium. They have lights on that field. And so an opportunity Trustee McGrath brought to us was, can we bring those lights from that stadium to the Pronghorn Field? And so I asked a facilities director to take a look at that, work with the electricians, and see if it's plausible. And perfect timing. And so through his research, I would like him to address what he found and what his recommendation is for moving the stadium lights from Campbell County High School to Gillette College. So, Marty, go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So currently I'm investigating what the project would look like in cost comparison regarding just an asset transfer and reusing those or purchasing new. So there's an existing 25-year light warranty that would not transfer. We'd have to retrofit the existing poles to update the current building codes. There's a lot of work involved with that. I don't have cost numbers today, but we're still looking into that. And we have a few months before they're actually taken down. So I'm coordinating with Campbell County High School on that. I just got off the phone this morning with their contact us going. So they wouldn't cost as much new as I thought they would initially. So he's working on a soft proposal for that. Any questions?
Chair Wasserberger, can you talk about the pros and cons, Marty?
Sure.
Of moving those lights versus, fine.
So for tear down, I would recommend an assessment. And then we'd have to have construction documents to move them, store them. And either way, we'd have to likely go before the Community College Commission for spending authority. The project would likely exceed 250,000 overall. So storage assessment, the bases can't be reused. So there's on average about 22 feet of concrete per pole. We need a 50 amp circuit per pole. Pronghorn is kind of halfway set up to do that project. The infrastructure is there and we can pull towards each pole from there, but each sleeve would have to get assessed. There's potential to reuse it, but right now we may get like 5 to 10 years out of it versus, 25-year warranty if we retrofit. But it's a big project. I'd be excited to do it either way.
Trustee McGrath.
Marty, why only 5 years of, they're only 5-year-old lights?
They're 10-year-old lights apparently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought they were brought in after COVID. So if they're 10-year-old, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was verified with Mr. Bartlett
Uh-huh.
over there.
Okay.
And go ahead, trustee.
Madam Chair, Marty, thanks for the quick entrance
Sorry.
opportunity to discuss this. So I have a question. So if we were to go ahead with the existing lamps, the lights, stadium lights, and then at some point in the future, we have to retrofit or go with new ones,
We would have to do it immediately.
in 5 or 10 years.
We would have to retrofit to fit the current
Well,
building
no,
code.
I guess what I'm saying is if we went with the existing ones and you put in all the infrastructure, would there be a cost savings for when we'd have to put new ones in because the infrastructure is already in place?
Potentially, it's worth exploring.
I guess I'd be curious to know what that cost difference is. Versus if we take and accept the old ones now, and then in 5 to 10 years, we've got to replace them, but is there a discount because we've already got infrastructure in place and that type of thing? Does that make sense?
It does, but we would definitely have to redo the bases if we're
Okay.
replacing the lights. So on average, over 20 feet of concrete and then the first sleeve. So they're kind of set up like traffic cones. They stack on top of each other, each sleeve.
So when you replace, just as Campbell County just recently did this, maybe you don't know. At that point, you'd have to put new bases all the way in, like whenever, say 20 years from now, say you do go new, if that was the route that eventually this board goes, 20 years from now, you have to put all new bases in at that point in time. You can't just put the sleeve over top of the concrete that you'd already poured 20 years ago.
It would void your warranty. It's Musco's recommendation to redo. It's kind of an all or nothing.
Well,
Right.
Of course it is.
Right.
It's gonna avoid your warranty.
Trustee Day, did you?
I didn't know if I saw you.
As far as, was that in this year's budget or is that, but that's just trying to take advantage of opportunistic?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Chair Wasserberger, I think the opportunity as well, one, they have to be stored because it isn't budgeted. One, Community College Commission implications because of the remodel or upgrade. But also the opportunity for us to go to the rec mill for some support for these stadium lights, whether or not they're in a position to help move those lights or help install new lights. But it's worth a conversation with potentially approaching rec mill.
Sure.
Yes.
And just for clarification, I work with the school district on the real estate side. And when we were looking at the aquatic center, he said, by the way, we thought we might repurpose these lights, but now we're not going to. This is Mr. Bartlett of the school district. Since you're on the college board, do you think do you think the college would have any interest in these and put them on your pitch? Well, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's worth looking
And
at.
so I talked to Dr. Overlander and we are where we are now. So that's how this, for transparency purposes, thought, well, hey, if lights are X and you're gonna get them for half that price and you can do that, boy, that works for both tax collecting entities, the school district and the college, but voids all warranties and you can't do it and it's gonna cost the same to buy new as it is used. They're good on that road, so.
Yeah. And I had the same question, but you asked a trustee day about, was this on our list of things to get done? Or it was just opportunistic because it was repurposing, which I'm all about repurposing. So I love the concept of that, but I also think, replacing stuff it's all technology, it's all gonna change 20 years down the road, maybe a new material to use, so.
If it was on the ranch, we'd be putting them up.
Exactly.
But yeah.
And it's my understanding they will be repurposed either way.
Correct.
There's an opportunity, I think, south of us.
Okay, well, that's kind of good to know.
And I think from the rec mill standpoint, you have the opportunity for state soccer being held here, then what you have, another turf field under the lights, you have the club uses from the rec mill that I think it does make sense to at least have that conversation with them.
Mhm. Yeah, looking at a bigger scope.
And I believe, Madam Chair, that I think that rec mill was used to actually build the Pronghorn Center as well. So I think it was a combination of county money and rec mill money that actually built that. And donations.
Trustee Smith, I don't want you to feel like you're forgotten out there. Do you have any questions, comments? You good? Good. You okay? He said, I'm good. All right.
I'm good.
Well, thank you, Marty, for on the spot reporting and just opportunities to explore. So we appreciate the checking that you're going to be doing and seeing if it's a good fit or not.
Thank you.
Perfect.
That concludes my report, but I'm happy to stand for questions.
Any questions for President Overlander? Larry says no. All right, thank you very much, Dr. Overlander, for your report. Now we're on to Ms. Collins. Renee, do you want to come forward? And we're going to go over board policy 3000.3.
Good afternoon. I just want to try this real quick, make sure it works. Okay.
Always great when the technology.
Yeah, good, yes. Chair Wasserberger, trustees, thank you for the opportunity to present our IT report this year. I do have a statement that I would like to share initially. This will try. I know the decision to retire is the right one, but that doesn't mean that it was an easy one. I want to express my sincere gratitude to the board and leadership for the trust, support, and opportunities you have given me during my time here. It has been a privilege to serve this organization, work alongside an exceptional team, and contribute to the continued growth and success of the college. I am incredibly grateful for the opportunity I've had to be a part of the college's journey. I am proud of what we have accomplished and confident in the people who will continue moving the institution forward. Thank you for your confidence in me, for your support of my leadership, and most importantly, for the opportunity to serve. I will leave with tremendous appreciation for this organization and the people who make it such a special place. Well, I have a big report. I'm going to try and go through it do the highlights, just to be able to provide you guys the information of what we've been doing in the last year. So just to give you a high level overview of the IT accomplishments, it's always been enjoyable to go back and look at the previous years. I will say this, last year I reported that we had decommissioned the Sheridan network. So we have come a long way. Some of the big ones that I really want to speak out or share is our Canvas learning management system. We completed that earlier this year. Modern Campus for course and program catalog, our soft docs document management for the HR and financial aid departments, that is completed. We are continuing to do AV updates and including over at the athletic center. We will continue to do, or we're continuing with development and integration areas. So the student section of college, we are still working through that. Expanding the soft docs document management area to include additional departments and the soft docs forms and workflows, which will be going live this week. So that's exciting for me. We finally have a forms and workflow solution available. And we are continuing on the reporting aspect of our environment. This is an operational overview. Our ticketing, our help desk, it's very comparable to last year. What I do want to point out is on our managed endpoints. Those are the computers, the mobile devices that we manage. We had an increase of those devices of 183%. We added over 400 devices in the last year into our environment where we have management and control, and we're able to really monitor those. So that was a great work by my team to do that. Our network overview, we have a very robust network. So I wanted to be able to provide you guys some information regarding that. The points that I wanted to bring up is our reliability and our resilience. We did have 7 failover events over the last year, but the secondary link picked up and nobody noticed. So that's what we like to see. When we do experience an issue, nobody knows but us. We did have 1 total outage in the last 12 months, and that was due to the citywide power outage that we had. And from that event, we learned that we needed to do some updates in our network closets to provide longer runnability. So we've started working on those areas and we'll continue to do that this year as well. Risk management and governance. This area last June, we had a vendor come in and do a risk assessment to kind of tell us where we're at and what are some of the priorities that we needed to focus on. Mobile device management, enrollment and encryption was one of those areas. That is complete. That's the additional 400 devices that we have. So the mobile, the iPhones, the iPads, the computers, they're enrolled so we can force encryption on those devices. Data loss prevention, we are in that process. We have policies, when I say system policies in place, we are auditing, and we will be working with the areas that deal with, let me back up just a moment. Data loss prevention. So that is, we identify in documents if there is any sensitive information. So PII, healthcare information, data that we want to make sure is protected and secured. So we are auditing that environment and making sure that it's not leaving the institution incorrectly. So we are meeting with the different departments and putting in the controls as to what that looks like. If say we need to share it with someone else, what are those controls in place? And then our incident response. So our team has been working really hard to put ourselves in a good position in incident response. Over the last year, we've conducted monthly tabletops within my department so that we could work through, okay, if we have this scenario, this is what we do, and building our incident response plan. I did want to provide you a summary of the security events. These are the ones that we would put a ticket into our system for. most of them required no additional follow-up action once we did the investigation. We did have 2 users that did require additional activities from our department to make sure that everything was taken care of. There was no additional threat in that. And then there was also one third-party event that was a confirmed compromise, and that was the Canvas incident. So I did want to provide you some lessons learned from that incident. Number 1, we were in pre-production. We had our faculty and a few staff that were in our environment, but we had no students in our environment. So the risk for us was extremely low. That event provided our team the opportunity to kind of work through our incident response for a third-party risk. And one of the things that we pulled out of there was communication and how important that is. We have implemented a system status dashboard on our bridge page, so all employees and then future students will be able to see that. And it's just a page where we show, here's all of our primary systems and what their current status is. And if there is some kind of an event happening, whether it's just an outage, it's unavailable, we have a place where we can provide updates to everyone there. Also wanted to share with you our phishing simulation. Our goal is to do one every month. We conducted 11 last month. The highlights are that our actual compromise rates are definitely lower than the predicted that we have. And we did have 5 months where there was 0 compromise. So we still have work to do. Phishing is still one of those things that we need to continue training people on and teaching and making sure everyone doesn't become complacent with that, but staying focused. So as I mentioned, we did the risk assessment last June, and these are kind of the areas where we're at. Definitely solid progress in the access control, incident response. We're in progress in the retention and data loss prevention area, and early progress in governance and policy. I also have an area of some additional things that we're doing. So I have Entra and Intune. Basically, that's our Microsoft environment. So we have done a security review in that. We have strong overall position. There are still some additional administrative activities that we are doing to continue to harden that environment. Vulnerability management is an area that we need to really start working on, and we'll be putting some focus on that area. And then third-party risk. The third-party risk, we're mature on the front end, but we learned from the Canvas that we do need to go back and reevaluate every vendor that we've got online to just make sure that they're still doing what they say they're going to do. I set up with my team earlier this year and working with my IT director, Thomas, on what are some primary areas for the IT department. And these are the 4 that we really wanted to focus our team on this year: cybersecurity and risk, operation and campus experience, financial stewardship, and governance and alignment. So it fit to what we've been doing, but just to really kind of lay it out there that these are our areas of focus. Next slide, please. And then finally, the IT steering and data governance committee. We will be reconvening in September with this, and these are some 4 areas that I really want to put some focus on. Continuing with that data loss prevention and retention. Also looking at a bring your own device policy and procedure. Thomas and I will be bringing some ideas to the steering committee in September on just some ideas of what we have on what that looks like. Continuing with the student systems development and the integration preparations for when we do bring students on. And finally is the unified communication evaluation. That's our Teams and our Zoom. We did that 4 years ago, 5 years ago. It's time that we do that evaluation again and define what are we going to do for the next 3 to 5 years so that as a team and an institution, we know. That is my report, and thank you for, and I stand for questions.
Thank you, Renee, very, very, very much. And I mean, obviously, your department just continues to stay ahead of the times and your responsiveness, not only individually, but as a department, has just been really fantastic. I think all the trustees, Trustee Smith will also echo that, you know, the help and assistance that you guys give us, and you're very patient with us because this is not our level of expertise, but yeah, you know, it's just been great. You have been a huge, huge part of our separation from Sheridan. And you know, your shoes are going to be extremely hard to fill, but God has a plan. And so God bless you and your family, because it's your family first and it's got to be the right thing to do. But you've got us on a good path, and I just trust that it will just keep moving forward and strongly. So whatever we can do to assist with the transitioning, but we just want to say thank you so much for what you have done. You've been a pleasure to work with, your professionalism, but yet your approachability is unmatched, and you're just a sweetheart, and you're going to be deeply missed.
Thank you.
Trustee.
I just had one question. I echo everything you say, and Renee, you've just done a phenomenal job. I have one question. I hadn't heard of this before, a drive-by URL.
Oh, that's, you know, I'm trying to think. Okay, just a minute.
I didn't mean to catch
Let
you
me go
off guard.
look because,
It's under the section on fishing simulation.
yes, yes. I want to look at the other options.
I just not heard that term before, so I was curious. We all have like drive-by relatives.
Yes, yes.
Come by and they stop in for a cup of coffee and they're gone. I just wonder what a drive-by URL is.
Well, they drop a URL in your email in hopes that you'll click it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
that's why I have my team here.
Excellent. Trustee McGrath.
I also echo everything you said. Thank you. Well stated. Whenever I've been traveling, I could call you and you quickly fixed whatever I needed, you know, to be able to log on. A bit of levity. My only question is, of the 1,313 received tickets, how many of those came from the Board of Trustees?
Maybe don't answer that.
I'd rather not disclose that information.
Thank you.
Great. Any other questions for Renee? Thank you so much for your annual report.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Jane Reback, our AD, ready to hear your report.
Trustee Chair Wasselberger, trustees, President Overlander, it is my pleasure to be back here again to present the athletic department annual report. Before I get started, I do want to give a shout out to Renee. I know that she's going to miss my, you know, after hours phone calls of things going down in the Pronghorn Center and how do we troubleshoot. Renee has been an exceptional partner for us in athletics, and I know that she leaves behind an amazing team. And I am so thankful for all the work that she has done and her team has done, because we would not be able to pull off all the stuff that we're able to do in athletics without her and without her team. And I know you're going to miss those phone calls, Renee. So thank you. Thank you for everything that you've done for us. And I'm going to miss you dearly as well. So I took Trustee Palmer's advice and I started the report this year with our accomplishments, as you had brought forward last year and suggested that I do. So we'll just get started right down here. We started off with the inaugural Athletics Hall of Fame last year, and it was an exceptional event. We look forward to continuing that tradition. Historic women's basketball season was one of our highlights. We've been here and we brought the team in to recognize them. They were Region 9 champions, district champions, first NJCAA national tournament appearance for the new GCCD district, and won the Leanne Cox Award at the national tournament. So huge accomplishments from the women's basketball program this last year. Topped off with Coach Liz Lewis winning District Coach of the Year. We enhanced community engagement this last year significantly. Our game day events were improved. We have game day themes. We set different standards of what a game day looks like across the region. We expanded our IT with the help of Renee. We implemented the new TriCaster system this last year, which allowed us to increase our production and our live stream viewership opportunity. We enhanced all of our live stream productions as well as in-game, in-house production. It was a significant improvement. Again, we had themes across the board for all of our games, partnered with various community super boosters to do a fun game events. We did faculty and staff appreciation. We did healthcare appreciation. There was a lot of different ads that we had this last year that were significant. We did launch an NIL infrastructure. That was something that everyone here was a part of, and we went through a very thorough process to get that implemented, and I will give an update on how that's going further on in my report. We had 2,957 hours of community service within the athletic department in ECV. This is 1,000 hours more than what we had last year. So this is something that's near and dear to me. I fully expect all of our coaches and athletes and myself to be out in the community, giving back to this community that has so generously put us here and provides for our opportunity every day. So we're thankful to be out in the community and giving back. So we participated in a variety of different things, including memory of the 8 food drives. We did elementary visits, Eat, Read, Grow programs. We partnered with the Boys and Girls Club for one event last year for anti-bullying assemblies. Tremendous amount of hours that we spent in the community, and we're thankful for those opportunities. My coaches, we'd give a Heart of Service award at the end of the year at our awards banquet. My coaches are pretty competitive about that, and they've already started this year trying to compete for that award of who is out in the community more. So we've already got hours under our belt to start this year, and coaches are taking their teams trying to win that award and obviously give back to the community that gives us so much. Academic excellence was unbelievable this year. I look forward to reporting on that. But we had a 3.1 GPA within our athletic department as a whole, and we have a number of academic accolades that we'll go over. Energy City Voices was selected as the honored host for the 2026 Heart of America Nashville Choir event. So ECV actually was on the national stage, and they like being there again. We look forward to more of those opportunities coming out. They were able to perform in a big collegiate choir competition, and so they were the guest performers, and they got to do various workshops within the colleges there, and obviously with all the high school performers. And they came out with a fight song, which will be shown tomorrow or Friday, which we're looking forward to. University of Wyoming collaboration. We hosted the University of Wyoming exhibition game this year in collaboration with UW, hosted a sold out crowd, significant event for our campus and community. So we're excited about the accomplishments that we had this last year. Those are the high level overarching pieces. Now, this is one that's near and dear to me, as you all well know, is the academic piece. I'm very, very proud of the work that we did academically this last year. It was tremendous, and I'm so grateful for my coaching staff and for our students that buy into our athletic department philosophy of student first and really focuses on getting it done in the classroom as well. We had 19 student athletes receive NJCAA all academic team honors. So the list is broken down there for you. These are student athletes that are above a 3.6 GPA. So we had 19 that were recognized nationally. We had 47 student athletes receive academic all region accolades. This is a 3.25 GPA or above. This is 50% of our student athlete population for our NJCAA sports. Then we had new this year, 4 teams that qualified for the NJCAA Academic Team of the Year. So this is a huge improvement. I was able to submit 4 out of our 5 NJCAA teams. or a cumulative GPA of a 3.0 or above. So significant growth there too. Our NIRA Scholar Americans, 3.5 GPA and have to have scored points for the season. We have seven students that received this honor, which is double than what we had last year. So we've approved across the board academically. This is a huge accomplishment for our department. This will continue to be an emphasis. We want to get a little bit better each year, which we did significantly this last year. So we'll keep trying to grow those numbers, but we're very proud of what we were able to accomplish this last year academically. Athletic accomplishments, we also improved across the board. We had 4 of our 5 teams that made postseason play, one of them obviously with women's basketball winning the region. We had various student athletes that received all conference, all region, all American. We didn't have all American this year. We had some that were up for nomination, but we had we had freshman of the year, offensive player of the year. We had tournament MVP. We just did tremendous job with individual athletic accolades as well. I won't go through all of those. There's a hefty list there, but we performed better athletically as well across the board. So not only academically, we improved our overall athletic performance too, and that shows through our accomplishments. Rodeo is also on here. We had 7 CNFR qualifiers, and we had 4 of them place top 10 in the nation at the CNFR. So significant, for head coach Casey Sellers for her first season officially as the head rodeo coach. She did a tremendous job in getting back to the CNFR and having 4 students finish in the top 10 nationally. That was absolutely amazing on Rodeo's part. This is for our upcoming 26-27. This is our snapshot, our demographic snapshot for our team. So you can see the number of our students that are right there. They're outlined on this. If you look by demographics, we have 60 and 61. We're right where we like to be as far as equity. So we're really happy to see those type of numbers. So we have 136 total students within the athletic department, which includes ECV. Now, this is where I rushed through all the stuff to get to some of our new initiatives. These are things that I'm very excited that we have been working on this summer to bring forward this year. You guys all know me. You know I'm a little competitive, so we like to be the front runners on some of these. And we like to continue to improve every year, which we have significantly already. One of the pieces that we have added for this 26-27 academic year is NJCA Honest Game Academic Eligibility Clearinghouse. This was a new initiative from the NJCAA. It is the NJCAA's clearinghouse to secure eligibility. As you can see, we've got 100% pass rate on compliance right there. Soccer is still in the works, but we're at a 96% compliance with soccer right now, men's soccer. But this provides us an opportunity to implement a platform that provides real-time eligibility tracking. Coaches can see it, student athletes can see it. So, and then we have cross-departmental where we work with our registrar, Sheridan's registrar, our records office as a whole to have eyes on eligibility. And this is a compliance piece. This is significant. This kind of shores up and actually documents how we are doing compliance-wise. Excellent system. It was a lot of navigation, but it has been tremendous. So what this does is it generates an audit guarantee. So if and when we get audited by the NJCAA, I click that little button on our online platform and it generates you're cleared for an audit. So as you can see right here, we have 2 of our 3 sports already 100% audit guaranteed. So this was a huge, huge add for us for the compliance piece this year. It also helps us. So I have to do the next step of actually submitting eligibility. So if this system flags anybody, then we catch it and we don't add them to the eligibility roster. We've done a tremendous job on this since we've started. This just adds a whole nother layer and a visual because it takes us away from spreadsheets and hard copies and folders to an electronic based system backed by the NJCAA. You can see right there on kind of what it looks like for the eligibility calculator. This populates on each student profile on all the pieces of eligibility documentation that's required. So we have to check pretty much all those boxes, and that list can get pretty extensive depending on the student. But tremendous system, we're very thankful for it. The other system that we've implemented with the help of IT, IT stood this up with me in the sense that we backed all the data privacy with this, because this system is our own EMR. So this is our electronic medical record. We have now officially added our own EMR for our student athlete population. So this is called Healthy Roster. This ties into student athlete health and safety. The NJCAA just came out with something under our USCA accreditation, which I'll go through next, that stated, you know, if you had, like, this is one of USCA's recommendations, and they recommended Healthy Roster. We already had it implemented. We were already ahead of it. We already had this system implemented under the accreditation. USCA came out and said, if you're using this system, you're going to be compliant under USCA's accreditation, and we already had it in place. So I'm very excited that we had this. This provides a centralized sports medicine platform, which manages student athlete health and safety and wellness. This platform, as you can see right there, we can track injury types, we can track body parts, we can track full reports on what cost looks like, what our referrals look like, where our students are getting injured, how they're getting injured. Everything is localized in one system now, again, where students, athletes, trainers, health team all have access to, within the parameters of their scope, have access to the students to see how they're doing. So now, where we had to text or call or, you know, figure out what the status is of one of our students, it's now at our fingertips. This also includes a SWAY concussion testing protocol, which is the one that's backed by USCA, which is ensuring the obviously concussion protocol and head safety. This system incorporates that live. It automatically integrates into Healthy Roster. If a student goes down in any capacity in any of our arenas, we can evaluate right there on the spot with a cell phone. And it communicates directly to this app. This also has a compliance component. So you can see which documents we have, which documents we're missing, if there's anything that needs to be reviewed. Significant add here. I just added all my men and women's basketball players in rodeo, so we're a little ski wampus now. That'll be taken care of in a couple weeks. And then you can see right here, this is a test athlete, but this is kind of the environment that you can see an active injury, active status, their treatments, so that we can track students' health and safety live. Significant add, which ties right into our USCA Athlete Health and Safety Initiative. This is for the U.S. Council of Athletes Health. This is an accreditation that we are required to have implemented by December. We are well underway in this. We're already doing a lot of these pieces, but now we're just shoring it up, making it more official. So we have the Healthy Roster implementation. We're shoring up all procedures for health and safety. So this includes weather emergencies, emergency action plans, health and safety training for my staff. And then we'll actually file for the independent accreditation for the health and safety. We'll be submitting that probably mid-September. And they'll come back on whether or not we're accredited under USCA's standards for health and safety for our student athletes. And then the name, image, and likeness, the Open Doors Partnership. This platform, as we've gotten live into it, I found is significant in what it can offer us. We have monthly calls that I was actually unaware of. So they're a little like bonus add-in that I track with our consultant and our partner. Every month we touch base on how our athletes are doing, how the education piece is going, how compliance is going. We track our goals. We track essentially everything, and we touch base once a month. So that was on top of, that was something that I was unaware of, that is in addition to our already the educational sessions, the coach training. We also have the monthly touch points. We've established, so with Open Doors, we have an opportunity to choose 3 different goals. This is their Open Doors partner goal menu. The big one is the increased NIL education is one that I've targeted for a goal for this next year. Fully implementing the NIL landing page, which I'm expecting to launch next week. And then we're increasing percentage of athletes with all-star profiles. So this year, those are our 3 target areas. We want to make sure that we're stood up, that we have the basis for all of our students, and that we complete the appropriate education across the board. So NIL is active and going. So it's expected to launch this next week and our platform to be live. There will be various pieces on our website, on our athletics website, that has sponsor and donor education and how, as a sponsor or donor, you can get involved. But then each of our student athletes will have an opportunity to build out a profile on their roster pages within our Presto web system. So significant additions there. And then we have a variety of events coming up. So we have, I did put on here again to sign up for the newsletter, the athletic newsletter. If you haven't, we launched this last year. We've probably grown. We have over 400, I believe, or close to 400 subscribers to this. I want to see that number go up. So we've done a few different things. We're hitting the newspaper with this ad to encourage folks to sign up for the newsletter. This is where you'll get every Pronghorn athletic update. We open tomorrow with our home games. So we start at 11 o'clock tomorrow, but there's the full weekend schedule for your reference. We have a lot of games going on this weekend. It's going to be busy over at the Pronghorn pitch. And then with housing move-in and all the things, it's just a lot of excitement over the next few days. The other piece, here's the information for our October 3rd Hall of Fame. So we have announced our class, and we have a tremendous class this year for our 2nd annual Hall of Fame banquet. All the details are here. Amongst those, we have various athletes, coaches, contributors, special achievement awards. All the details are there, and I am so excited for this class. It is an excellent group of individuals and contributors, and we're looking forward to hosting another event. The other piece we've added this year is your guide to every Pronghorn game. This was in partnership with our marketing crew, and this went out in the chamber packet. So we're trying to increase our marketability, trying to increase our communication. So this went out in chamber packet last week to over 600 community businesses. This identifies all of our games through October and all of our themes, which we have various themes assigned again, starting with our campus kickoff this week. Then we have Pack the Pronghorn Center. We have Feed the Herd, which we bring the food trucks and everyone loves that one. So Future Pronghorn Day, where we invite all of the rec center students to come over and participate with our teams for halftime and do walkouts with us. And we have Kick for a Cure. So we're doing some cancer awareness in October. We have a couple of dates identified there. Host family appreciation, faculty and staff appreciation. So big events coming up for all of our athletics. And then obviously the Meet the Pronghorns event is on September 8th. It's a lot. I'll stand for questions.
Wow, thank you, Katie, Rebecca. That's a tremendous report. You guys have done incredible things. Questions for Janie by any chance? You answered mine with the concussion protocol. I was gonna ask you about that, but you have that. Trustee Palmer.
Sure. So just real quick, first of all, thank you. Thank you for this excellent report as always. I know last year there was some issue with visas and getting international students in. Has that been resolved? Is it better? I guess, let me say it this way. Is it better this year?
Trustee, that's a great question. It has not improved this year. No. It is still a challenge, but we have an excellent team that is responsive to it and working on it. And I know Diana has something on the docket today to bring forward that'll move us in the right direction. It's a convoluted process. It takes a lot for these students to get through. Embassy appointments were really hard for our students to secure. I would say that our admissions staff did well. Like we did well on the things that we could, but the process is just so convoluted. It gets a little hairier every year just due to changes in immigration and visa requirements. They continue to adjust those. We have even more coming out this year. But we did get, I believe we had all students except one that got through the process, and that student's still trying, still working on it. But the good thing about this is we've identified when we're able to bring our own policy procedure for international student acceptance. We've identified areas that Gillette College can shore up and improve and expedite the process for our students. And consider some of these things that they're running into, some of these barriers. So when we're able to do our own processes, we're going to be ahead of the game there.
Madam Chair, I appreciate that. I'm sorry to hear that hasn't gotten better. I just wonder on a statewide level, I'm sure that the other community colleges are facing the same dilemma. And I'm wondering if this isn't maybe something that through the community college trustees and through the community college presidents and the commission, that we could maybe have conversations with our federal delegation to see if this couldn't get better. Because this is, it's already stressful enough for these students coming on board, and yet they have to go through that as well. It's stressful for coaches, it's stressful for you, it's faculty, their teammates. If there's just a way that we couldn't get maybe a better process in place. So thank you.
Yes, I will say on our side, I think we do a great job and we support the student through the whole process, but it's just a convoluted process for them. And we try to stay up to date with all the regulations. I know Vice President Larson sent one just recently and said, heads up, this is coming. And we're on those things. And so I think it's going to be an ever-changing piece, but we have an exceptional team to navigate it.
Thanks for what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Other questions? Trustee Smith? Trustee Smith, anything that you would like to ask?
Athletic Director Raybeck, you do an excellent job. I don't know how you get it all done, but thank you for your time and devotion.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you very much for your report. Good job and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Pronghorns.
Yes.
All right, Dr. Humphreys. You are up next with the strategic plan progress.
Well, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, trustees, President Overlander. What we wanted to do was sort of give a snapshot of the key performance indicators that we established in the spring of 25 around our strategic priorities and the institutional goals. And so what this allows the board to see is some of the targets and the indicators and the progress that we've made. We selected 8 what we call key performance indicators. And so the data that we use primarily in this is the data from the Wyoming Community College database. And so it allows us to look and compare our data to other institutions in the state. So like when we look at completion, we look at persistence, we look at retention, we look at all the different factors that are included in this, is that we have an opportunity to also prepare or compare that to our neighboring institutions and also at a national level. This is a real critical piece, especially in accreditation, in terms of how you use data and how that data is comparable. And the Higher Learning Commission just came out, I believe, about 6-7 months ago, and formalized really the 3 indicators that are with benchmarks that have been set, which are completion, persistence, and retention. So the data that we'll look at today is that we established our baseline based on the academic year 23-24. And sometimes people go, why isn't this current? Well, it usually takes the commission, and not disparaging of the commission, but it takes 4 to 6 months to validate this data across. And so in the IR world, we call this lag data. So it's always going to be about a year behind. So what this report shows is our comparisons from academic year 23-24, academic year 24-25. The enrollment data from the commission will be validated and reported out probably November, and the performance data will be reported out in the spring of 27. So it's always about 6 months behind. We currently are looking at other KPIs to add and to enhance what we're doing. So to get going, our first slide here shows the four measures that were identified. The first one is enrollment. Enrollment of any student that is enrolled in a credit-bearing course. And so it's an unduplicated count. So somewhere between in the year, if they're enrolled in the summer, the fall, or the spring, in one course, they're counted. And as you can see, our baseline in 24 was 1,699 students. This is concurrent students, dual students, non-degree seeking students, any student that was enrolled in a credit-bearing course. Our goal was to increase this annually by 3%. And as you can see, the target was met and exceeded for academic year 25. Our goal was to increase by 3%. We increased it over 6%. So those are some celebrations, and we sort of put it in a green, yellow reporting to help see where those pieces are. The second one was around retention. I'm sorry, that's okay. Retention, when we look at retention, this is by what we call cohort data. So these are the students that were first-time degree seeking students in the fall of 24 and 25 and 23, 24. So the baseline, as you can see in 24 data, is that 50% of the students, initial first-time degree seeking students, okay, full-time, 50% of those, we retained those to the next fall. We met and exceeded that goal with our cohort of students from 24, 25. So we saw an increase in terms of meeting that retention goal. The third column or third row looks at this from part-time. So these are students that are enrolled in less than 24 credits for the year. And as you can see, our baseline was 49%. We had our goal was to get at 50, and we dropped below this. And so that classification of students, we didn't meet our goal in terms of retaining those part-time students. And the last piece, or the last column, or excuse me, row, is persistence. And this is persistence of any full-time student, first time. And what persistence is that they persist either at Gillette College or they persist in another college nationwide the subsequent year. And so our goal was to increase that by 2% annually. And you can see that we were a little bit below that. I believe we were at 66.2%, and our goal was, I believe, 69%. And so we'll continue to look at those. The next slide looks at that from a part-time, same metric, looking at a different group of students. And as you can see, our goal was to be at 60% for the academic year 25. We were at 39%. So we saw a decrease in terms of persistence of our part-time students. The third, or the middle row, is around completion. And so this looks at students. And so if you look at the academic baseline of 24, these were students that were initially enrolled first time in the fall of 21. And did they complete within the completion of academic year 24? And so it looks at really, for the most part, a 6-semester look. And this is reported out when we look at from other community colleges, but also nationwide. This is one of the requirements in our iPads. And so you saw that the goal, our baseline was 43%. We had hoped to increase that to 44.3, 42%. So we fell a little bit below our target in terms of completion. Okay. The last column or last row is data that the commission collects in a survey at the end of a student's term before they graduate. And it's a survey data, it's soft data. It asks some questions about their employability. And so we're able to look at this piece of data and compare us to other institutions, and sort of gives us a consistent measure. I would put this caveat, it's a measure, it's not the strongest measure when we look at employability because of the sample size that's collected from the institutions. Okay, but it's one of the pieces that we have that we utilize, and we're looking at some other measures. And so we had 55% of our students were employed in a year following their graduation. Our goal was to increase that annually by 3%. And we can see that it dropped to 35%.
Madam Chair, may I just ask some clarification pieces on this? First, I'm curious, where does the data come that they're employed? Does it measure only if they're employed, or does it also measure if they've continued their education, gone to the military, or is it simply they've gone into the workforce?
Madam Chair, trustees, President Overlander, great question. It only looks if they're employed. It is about a 5-question survey that is provided to students via the College Commission. Very limited in terms of what we get.
And if the students who are surveyed, who receive the survey, don't respond, what happens?
There's, Madam Chair, trustees, President Overlander, there is no follow-up or follow-through with that. I believe that sample size for 25 was a little bit over 400 students statewide. So it's a measure. It's better than not having one, but there are some other measures that we can look at. We need to look at in terms of employability a year, 6 months out. Okay. The next slide, okay, looks at, this is around strategic priority educational excellence. It looks at the number of students that complete a course. And so what we, in terms of, which is really a good piece for the college to celebrate. We had 87.5% of our students completed courses during academic year 24. That means that they started, they did not withdraw from the courses. Our goal was to be at 88.8, and we actually met that goal in terms of our completion rates in our courses. And the row below that looks at the matriculation of high school students from Campbell County for the subsequent fall semester. And so the baseline data from Thunder Basin, Campbell County High School, Wright High School was 31.3%. So any of those students that graduated in the spring of 24, 31% of them enrolled in one or more courses at Gillette College. I know it's going. But you can change your batteries off.
No, I like it.
Yeah.
I have a question on that. Yeah. Thank you. Sure. The description on the left-hand cell says it's increased the percentage of GCCD non-credit students matriculating, but then you're talking about it CCSD students, so I'm not catching that.
Madam Chair, Trustee Anderson, that should be percentage of Campbell County High School students.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That great clarification. We moved this target a little bit to really make sure that we honed in directly on the students County High School and Thunder Basin and Wright from the district. Our goal was to get to 32%, almost 33%. We met that at 28.69. One of the questions that comes up in terms of the ratio of students because of declining rates. Overall, the last 3 years, the number of graduates really have not fluctuated too much between Thunder Basin High School and Campbell County High School. So the sample size has stayed fairly comparable across many years. This is collected again within the DMARS system. And again, we have to wait Like, we will not have this data until after the census data here in about 2 weeks to know what that matriculation was for 26. Okay. The next slide looks at the students that are enrolled in non-credit programming. This is MSHA, this is CDL, this is Area 59. Any of the areas, and this is information that Institutional Advancement has provided us. As you can see, we had a significant increase in terms of the number of non-credit opportunities, especially Area 59 increased significantly in terms of the non-credit programming that's available. As we move forward with this, this will be really critical when we look at non-credit opportunities that maybe continue to evolve here at the college. The last slide is around strategic priority 4, institutional advancement. The first measure is the total enrolled credits. As we move forward into accreditation and into the state funding cycle, this is a really critical piece in terms of the number of credits and the number of FTEs that we generate. As you can see, the goal was to increase that by 3% annually. We met that goal, increased our enrollment by 9, or credit hours by 9.34% from 24-25 to 26,000 credits. And again, that's summer, fall, spring, all that academic year. One of the goals in terms of institutional advancement was to increase the enrollment of Hispanic students by 3% annually. And as you can see that we increased that by 6.83%. The goal was to set that at 3%. So some very positive things in terms of the scorecard of some of our measures and indicators. And with that, I would entertain any questions from the trustees.
Trustees, any questions for Dr. Humphries? Trustee Anderson?
Thank you, Chair Wasserberg. Dr. Humphries, what kind of planning are you doing to address the areas that were not met?
Madam Chair, Trustee Henderson, what we're doing with this data is that we're drilling it down by program. And so that information will go to the deans and really honing down in terms of the areas that were above or below the institutional averages. So we'll be able to use that data a lot more granular in terms of knowing who, faces with names and so forth. And so in their annual reviews and program reviews, we're looking at these same measures, replicating these by program. So they're able to really drill down.
Madam Chair, if I might add as well. So earlier I talked about the Council for Leadership and Innovation. And of course, the academic deans as well as the Dean of Students is on that council. This is their work, right? They need to peel this down. They need to, as Dr. Humphrey mentioned, go back in and look and start looking at the data very closely. Do we have a class that's becoming a barrier to students? Do we have a particular program that's a barrier to students? Do we have a program where we're seeing less completers? That's when you start to get that really strong continuous quality improvement cycle going. Because then we measure these again next year and the year after, and you keep working on that improvement piece. That's exactly the work that the CLI will be working on. It's very exciting. I think when I was the Dean of Students, I loved peeling this back because then it became the enrollment goals for the next year. Well, last year we didn't succeed in this place. And then together with the academic deans, you build that intervention programming all together. And then you start to see some real significant results. It's exciting. It's exciting work.
So President Overlander, this will show my ignorance in this, but as you peel that back, then are you not only looking internally, but externally for impacting factors such as the time of day that class is offered, daycare situations? I mean, how much does, I mean, to me, that seems like a really big job. So enlighten me on how can you start to peel that all together, peel it back and then put it back together?
Great question, Madam Chair. So when a student withdraws from the institution, if they go through the formal withdrawal process, we should be, if we are not already, collecting why they left. It used to be students checked the easiest box, right? Financial. Well, then you call the student and say, hey, help me understand. And so some of it is it's just intensive work, right? Where you have to pick up a phone or you have to call somebody, or it's the relationships that we build. The faculty members build the relationship with the students. Our staff absolutely support that and get to know them. But our faculty really are the ones who our students connect with most, and they should have an understanding. What happened to the student? Where did they go? We should be able to get that information anecdotally and be able to start looking at those interventions.
And then that information goes to
The deans take that
Yeah,
information,
yeah.
yep, and they should be able to start bringing interventions forward.
right, okay?
Yep.
Interesting. Thank you. Other questions for Dr. Humphries?
Just, Madam Chair.
Yes, trustee.
Thank you, Dr. Humphries. So this is the second year we've done this?
Madam Chair, Trustee Palmer, yes, this is our second iteration. We established our baseline with 2024. We felt that was our best, most reliable data set to build from.
So I guess my only observation is we've only done this 2 years.
Mhm.
I mean, there's a lot of opportunity there's just a lot of opportunity. I'll leave it that way. And I think historically, over time, we'll have better data because of your involvement, the new office that we have. So I guess I take this somewhat with a grain of salt. That it's only been 2 years and we're still getting things in place.
Correct.
So, thank you.
Yep. There's, again, there's some variability with the sample size. The larger the sample size gets, the more reliable. So when we have 5 years worth of data, you don't have near the variances in it. But excellent point.
Trustees, any other questions? If not, thank you very much for your report, Dr. Humphries. Appreciate it. All right, next up is our BOCES update. Mr. Wasserberger, would you like to come and share your information?
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. BOCES report. BOCES was created by state statute, and on the third Wednesday in July, we presented our budget to the Campbell County School Board. Budget was accepted. The two biggest things in that were a $58,000 drop in assessed valuation to our budget, but then also we increased our money for the Pronghorn Advantage Scholarship Program to $700,000, which should cover that for the next year or so. Currently, we have about 200 students in the Pronghorn Advantage Scholarship. The vast majority of those students are taking just one course. We also have the Kickstart Your Medical Career. And we have 4 courses in there that the students take from the Campbell County Hospital. And that is the Certified Nurse Assistant, the Medical Assistant, Phlebotomy, and the Emergency Medical Technician. Vast majority of those students are in the CNA. Okay. And then after they complete the CNA with their national certification test, we talk them into the health sciences degree. Last year, we had 6 students graduate with health sciences degrees and are headed to our nursing college next year, or should be there now. We continued our research on the 40 students that graduated with their associate's degree. Remember last year we did a research project. I met with 39 of the 40 students and they completed their questionnaire. Dr. Humphries has that information and I believe he will have that information to you within the next couple of weeks. And so that was kind of a neat opportunity to sit down with each one of those students and have them do that. But it's also a neat opportunity to give the students the book from Dr. Seuss, that we always give each year, and then also their medal that they get to keep. We had a special project start 2 years ago with sheep herders wagons, and Campbell County High School with Pete Stalker and Thunder Basin with Nick Newman started building sheep herders wagons with the kids. And so the deal was, anytime a student didn't have anything to do, they got to work on the sheep herder wagon. Or if they had completed their project, they worked on the sheep herder's wagon. So it took 2 years to build them, and they have had a life of their own. So starting in May, they were at the Rockpile Sheep Herders Festival on display. From that, we were invited to go to the county fair, which we did. The small wagon built by CCHS students was grand champion. And the large wagon was second. And then from that, we ended up going to the state fair. We are there right now. I hauled them down using the college's trailer. They finished, there were 28 wagons. We finished 5th and 6th, which quite frankly, I looked at some really nice sheep herders wagons, and that's what that person did. I was told was they finished sheep herders wagons, and they were beautiful, but ours sit right in with them. So we're very proud of that. But then they get done with state fair, they go to the Glen Rock Sheep Herders Festival. And I will pick them up this coming Sunday and haul them back. The CCHS wagon will be donated to Skills USA, which Josh earlier knows all about, and they are going to live auction that sheep herders wagon at the annual Skills USA banquet. But then also the Gillette College Foundation will actually sell raffle tickets for the wagon, and that will be sometime in February, but I think it actually ends in May. But you can go to a QR code, you can buy your raffle ticket, and each one of those entities, Skills USA and Gillette College Foundation, gets to keep all the money from those wagons. And it's really kind of neat because some of those students, they learned for the first time that, in the 1930s and 40s, Wyoming was the second largest wool producing state in the Union, second only to Texas. And it's kind of a heritage thing. And so Charlene Camblin is the chair of the sheep herders wagon, and she's just having a ball. And then, let's see, what else do I have? Historically, this is the very first day of the school year, and my office is like a morgue. Once the students are all in their classes, I don't have a lot to do. They don't show up until, they start showing up in October. And so it's a little slow at the Bochi's office. And I will probably be working hard on the INSEE building. So that will dominate some of my time. But then the next thing we will be working on is the students in MSHA and OSHA. And typically we have about 60 students in that. And they come in typically in October for a 3-day training. And then what else? We have our dual language immersion flats test that we pay for. And then finally, we have the Pronghorn Drive program, which we still have scholarships available. So if you see a student that graduated this past May, they're eligible for that scholarship. And I think that's my report, Madam Chair. Outstanding night last night.
Yes, it was really, it was really, really great night last night. So congratulations to you. Questions for Jeff regarding Bochi's? I'm not sure it was clarified with the wagons, and maybe that's just me, but, cause I know this, I think it's really neat that those two separate high schools, those kids got to pick which entity was going to be their beneficiary. So it wasn't an agreement going forward, like, once you get this done, this will go to the college, or this will go there. Those kids that worked on that, they came together and made that collective decision of what, and who was gonna be the, reap the benefits, and how that was gonna happen, how that unpeeled, one through a raffle, one through an auction. So I have this really great property that really needs a sheep herder's wagon, but we'll see. I'm not very good at raffles. Other questions?
Just a comment. I wanted to say thank you to Ann and Jeff, with the Bochi's budget and meeting with the school district. Complete transparency and did a phenomenal job. And thank you very much. And then as a parent of a young man who just finished his CNA at the hospital, thank you. He had learned a ton and is waiting to take his state test now and ready to go. So awesome program.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just amazing to watch the kids go through it all. And the thing about the jumpstart your medical career, you know, the Bochi's office really doesn't have any way to keep track of them. They're treated as adults within the healthcare profession, and they don't tell me what's going on. So and I tell the students that, I mean, you are on your own.
I was more than tickled that it starts at 7 in the morning and 7 to 5. And they are treated as adults and they better be, and it's awesome. So.
Well, thank you for your time and assistance as well, to our representatives, to the Bochi's board. You guys have been a huge support, I know. So thank you for the extra trustees work that you do. Trustee Pomeranz, you raised your hand as well?
No, but I just appreciate the opportunity to say thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate all the work that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you for your report. All right. Now we're on to old business. So, what is on our agenda is going to be the second reading of the policy 1000 series updates.
Show us.
Yes, trustee
On
McGrath.
behalf of the governance committee, I would make a motion to approve 1000.3, 1000.4, 1000.6, 1000.8, 1000.11 as presented. And I would like to pull off 1000.2 for a minor change and 1000.12 for format.
Okay, thank you very much. So, I thank you for the motion on behalf of the governance committee.
I'll second that.
Okay, and since it came from the committee, it doesn't require a second,
Oh.
but thank you very much for that. So therefore, the motion from the committee is before us and moving forward with as presented, 1000.3, 1000.4, 1000.6, 1000.8, 1000.11 with discussion to follow on the 0.2 and the 0.12. Any discussion?
You just want me to clarify on 1000.2, the word needed to be changed to ratify rather than appoint, correct?
And I think just a little bit, I'll get to that. Sentence structure that it should read. The board shall ratify all appointments of members of the Gillette College Foundation Board and Advisory Board.
And, yeah,
And ratify all.
and ratify all members of the advisory board.
Period. Period, or created by any advisory board created by the board. I was a little bit confused as to the wording of that sentence personally. Because we do have other advisory boards such as the nursing advisory board, probably some CTE advisory boards perhaps, and of course, what we consider to be the advisory board. So I guess I would like input and clarification from the other trustees as their vision of what the intent of this is really. I thought the intent of this was just for the advisory board, because we have not been ratifying any members of CT or nursing advisory boards.
Correct. Whatever Chair Westberg, excuse me.
Absolutely.
However you would like to frame this particular advisory board, it's the advisory board that Chair Durgan, yes, chairs, not the advisory boards of the various departments. Correct.
Does it have a formal name?
Madam Chair, I believe their bylaws state the Gillette Community College District Advisory Board.
So we should clarify that within that sentence, is my opinion.
Then I would add any GCCD advisory board members created by the board in that sentence, because you have GCCD up above.
Yes. Trustee Palmer.
I was just gonna simply suggest that we just make it two simple sentences. The board shall I guess is that still correct, ratify all appointments of the members of the foundation, period. And the board shall ratify or shall appoint.
Ratify.
Let's ratify for both. So shall ratify all members of the Gillette or the GCCD advisory board, period.
I like that.
I agree.
Okay. That sounds great. Trustee Smith?
I would call for question on your first motion before we discuss these second ones.
Thank you. That's why I think we ought to go ahead and vote on it. That's what I was thinking too before we got into discussion. So the motion is in front of us for the 3.3.4.6.8.11. Any other discussion regarding just those policies? All those in favor then indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nay. That motion carries. Okay, then I'll request a motion regarding the policy of 1000.2, which then we'll lead to a discussion.
So moved.
Second. Larry's first.
Okay, so Larry's moved, or Trustee Smith has moved, followed by Trustee McGrath. Now to the discussion phase. So for clarification, we as Board of Trustees ratify the members of the Gillette College Board as well as the GCCD Advisory Board. Everyone in concurrence with that?
Yes, I would create two sentences similar to what Trustee Palmer said and just repeat it. The board shall ratify all appointments of the members of the GCCD Foundation Board, period. The board shall ratify the appointments of all members of the GCCD Advisory Board.
Okay, any other discussion? Discussion? All those in favor then indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Okay, I'd like to request a motion to approve of 1000.12.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Now discussion. Trustee Anderson?
On number 2, the A, B, C, D, E underneath, D and E should actually be moved
3 and 4.
out to become 3 and 4. They're not
Yes.
part of what we want to read.
Does everybody understand that change? Okay. Any other discussion? If not,
Do we need to amend the motion to include that change?
yes, that would be wise.
I would amend my motion.
Okay. And you concur with the
I
second?
concur.
Okay, so a motion has been made to approve with the amendment to change to D and E to actually, D and E will become points 3 and 4. Any other discussion? Last time going. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Nay. Motion carries.
Madam Chair, may I just make a comment to the board? You all did phenomenal work on these policies. This is hard work, and this is the first time this series has been reviewed since Gillette Community College District formed. And so thank you for your hard work on this. We really appreciate it, and we'll get these changes made and the policies updated. The next group that we'll do is 2000, and the staff who are responsible will certainly bring those forward for you to review. We likely won't get to those until later in the semester, but we'll begin that process on the next round and bring those forward for your review.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's just some commentary. It's been interesting because obviously this group of policies was written towards the initiation of us being independent and to get it all reworked, because that's in the past of where we're at in our present and where we're going in the future. No matter how many times you look at them, there's still something that creeps forward. President Oberlander and Mr. Horning, would this be a good time to talk about the 1,000 point, the conflict of interest policy? Do you want to just touch briefly on that, why that wasn't included in this series this time around? Pending more work?
Madam Chairman, I can address that. Simply put, the different conflicts of interest requirements are nested in several different locations, and what we had was extremely cumbersome. And frankly, because of that, was inaccurate. And rather than draft something for the president's review and then ultimately yours that was overwhelming and almost very difficult to understand what your obligations were, I suggest we prune it back as best we could, be accurate, have appropriate references, and give you something that was useful. There's requirements in the Ethics and Disclosure Act. There's several criminal statutes, and there's also some items in the public contracting statutes, and it just wanted to give you a useful product.
So that policy will be coming forward at maybe even at our next meeting.
Madam Chair, our intent is to bring it back to you in September.
Our next meeting. Okay, so I just wanted the trustees to be aware why that policy was peeled back from this packet. Okay, and thank you very much, legal counsel, for your contributions to ensure that the statutory sightings were accurate and current. And then also to thank you for with this conflict of interest policy that that will come out with a product that's ethically and legally binding for us. So thank you for your work on that.
Of course, you're welcome.
Okay, new business. Vice President Larson, talk to us about the Aleutian annual subscription.
Good afternoon, Chair Wasserberger and trustees. This is our annual request to pay the annual Aleutian invoice associated with the contract you approved a few years ago. There'll be two more payments under this current contract. For this year, the total is $384,902. So we're seeking spending authority for this amount to cover our fiscal 27 subscription and services for Aleutian.
I move to approve the Aleutian subscription payment of $374,896.
It's been moved by trustee Anderson, seconded by trustee Ellis. Any discussion? Dave, sorry. Dave, sorry. Ellis, here, I was just Ellis. Trustee Day. Any discussion? Trustee Palmer.
Just a clarification, so just so I'm familiar. So this is an item that we get billed from the Community College Commission.
Correct.
And we pay the Community College Commission, which then goes on and pays
Aleutian, yes.
And then the other one is we pay them directly, or am I confused? So all the money flows through us to the commission and the commission to them.
Correct.
And if we were fully accredited and had 4 mills, the state would pay for this.
We would not
totally.
see this invoice.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to
Great point. Other points of discussion? All right. We have a motion in front of us. All those that vote in favor of paying this annual subscription,
indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you, Ann. Marty Wolf, spending authority for the tech center boiler.
Good afternoon. Thank you for your time. I'm seeking board approval for spend authority up to $246,074. We identified a failing boiler in January of 2026. I drafted project documents in spring of 26. We solicited 3 bids from local vendors that went out July 2nd. July 21st, bids were due. We received 2 qualifying bids, July 21st. And on July 21st, we tentatively accepted low bid. We're currently working with Mr. Horing on contracts pending your approval.
Okay. I'm requesting a motion to approve of this replacement of the boiler.
So moved.
Second. Okay, give it to trustee Palmer and then trustee Anderson. Any discussion?
Just one minor one. Is Chair Wasserman?
Yes, absolutely.
Mr. Wolf, is Apex who put it in originally, or is it a different company? Just
A different company.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, very good.
Any other discussion?
Madam Chair, how old is the current boiler?
Some components are original, some have been replaced since 2009.
Just like I'm.
Chair Wasserman?
Yes.
For my own reference, what is the, not that it matters, I guess it's mundane, but what is the typical life cycle expected life of a boiler?
Depends on maintenance on that. So there were some water treatment issues on campus for a number of years and there's.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Sure.
Yes.
So just for my clarifications, when we're talking about the lights before, if we got the lights for the Pronghorn field, we'd have to go back through the Community College Commission. Because that's a new thing. But if we're replacing a boiler that almost meets that threshold of $250,000, we don't have to go before the commission.
I've been advised just to loop them in if we're approaching that threshold. There's some contingencies built into this ask. The low bid was like 174,000 for this. And then we still have to do water treatment on top of that and some other items, but.
I was just curious what creates a conversation with the Community College Commission for approval and what does it? And yeah, not to put you on the spot, but I was just curious because
And this particular ask, it's an emergency ask. That's the only redundancy in the building. So the commission would let us move forward and then we'd backdate the information.
Thank you.
Good question. All right. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you, Marty.
Thank you.
Now, application for approval for student and exchange visitor program. Diana, welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Madam Chair, President Overlander, Board of Trustees, thank you. I have submitted a memo to you that explains our intention in our next steps of accreditation, recruitment, enrollment to apply for application for SVEP, which is the Student Exchange Visitor Program through the Department of Homeland Security, located within the Student Exchange Visitor Information System, SEVIS. What this memo does, it indicates our intention as we provide our provisional plan to HLC, as we plan for recruitment and our next steps of enrollment, that we intend to enroll international students and apply to the Student Exchange Visitor Program in order to issue I-20s to international students, and that we intend to recruit international students in our next steps. The Department of Homeland Security recommends that we bring this before governing bodies in order to understand the regulatory compliance, the documentation, the financial components that are with this. The application is reasonably within our budget. It is $3,000 to submit. It is $665 to submit annually and renew. More importantly is the documentation, compliance, and regulatory governance through the Department of Homeland Security, through ICE, and making sure that we are admitting qualified international students. We will not, of course, be able to enroll until we have our approval to enroll through the Department of Education and our next steps of accreditation. There are two different formats in which you can submit evidence and documentation. Those once you are fully accredited, and your intention once you're in lieu of accreditation. We would, of course, navigate that in the accreditation process and work within the HLC process of all of that. But this is an aligned experience with our next steps of accreditation and our provisional plan that we hope to get the board's approval to move forward with SPEP and our intention to recruit international students once we are able to enroll.
Excellent.
I move to approve the application for student and exchange visitor program certification.
Second.
Was that you, trustee Palmer? It's moved by trustee Anderson, seconded by trustee Palmer to approve the student exchange visitor program application. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thanks, Diane, for your presentation. All right, committee reports, which I have down is that there really are none right now. So, okay, public comments, trustee, okay. There's no one signed up for public comments. So moving right along, have a schedule. There's your listing of upcoming events that you can see listed here. Nothing but good things happening and welcoming our faculty and then our students and staff. Should not forget them. So hope to see you guys at the events.
Same pitch tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Motion to adjourn. Second?
Seconded.
Hey. Meeting adjourned.